want to talk about one of my platforms when I run for state representative. It's something not other people are not talking about, and yet they should. I talked about how I would legalize weed and how I would, deregulate tobacco and alcohol and things like that. And I believe that that is a sincere policy that we should have if we claim to be freedom-loving individuals that believe in personal choice, and I believe it would be good for our economy. I think it would be good for people mentally and physically. I think that it would charm people enough to vote for me, and it would have positive benefits at the same time. But more than that, I think we need to focus on water. Now, that is something that you're not going to hear very often. People are going to be like, water? What the fuck? But I'm serious. Only about 1% of the world's water supply is drinkable. And, you can clean yourself with just about any kind of liquid. Seawater could be used to bathe you. You might smell funny, but you will bathe yourself, and it will work in cleaning your body and getting rid of all the bacteria and shit. The problem is, people do not differentiate consumable water from useful water. There's a difference between being polluted and being useless. And a lot of the water might have pollutants in it, but it's still useful. And unfortunately, only about 1% of this water is drinkable, which means that it is a rare commodity, which means that it is a valuable commodity. And while the dumb rednecks are stockpiling gun ammunition and buying gold stocks, nobody is thinking about how somewhere, somehow, someone is controlling the water supply. And what do you think's going to happen when the nukes drop? What do you think's going to happen if shit goes awry? That's going to be the first thing people think about. They're not going to be thinking about, their 401k plan. They're not going to be thinking about whether or not the value of the American dollar has gone up or down. They're going to be thinking about the natural resources. They're going to be thinking about land, food, water, and people. Those are the four most integral resources to any economy and to any country and to the whole world. In many places outside of the West, drinking water is very scarce, and they have to wait and boil their water and wait for it to cool down just to be able to drink something throughout the day and not risk getting E. coli. So when you think about how close we are to be turning into like Somalia, as opposed to the spoiled American West, where most people don't even drink water on a regular basis. We drink juice, we drink soda, we drink coffee, but we don't stop to think about water because we figure we're Americans. We're better than water. We can have tasty water. We can have water that jacks us up with caffeine. We can have water that, comes in a pretty package and shit like that. We're so spoiled that we're willing to pay more for bottled water. It's just the same as tap water, only it comes in a prettier package. That's the level of audacity and hubris in America, and in a lot of other places, but mostly America. And it might not always be there. So even as someone who personally does not drink a lot of water and fills his body with Diet Coke and coffee and milk and all the other tasty liquids, as you can see by my demeanor and by my physical appearance, I do not obviously care about my health too much. But I do care about a natural resource that is very valuable and very integral to the survival of our species and to any kind of economy of any sort. So that's why I think water should be a concern. In some states, water is even a concern now. In some states, they make regulations on how many times a day or a week or whatever you can water your garden. Or, they raise the taxation of water consumption and things like that. Because in some states, water is more scarce than others. And it's not something that you can easily transport. So that's why water prices fluctuate. Not to mention they're privatized, and privatized companies can do whatever the fuck they want to, and nobody seems to have a problem with that. But mostly, I think it should be an issue that no one else is going to talk about how the government needs to get more involved in the water supply and nationalize it vehemently. That's just one of the issues that I figured I'd bring up, and to show that I'm very serious about this campaign to run for state representative. See you later.